Everyone who gives his blood can know for certain that it will be used to save life or to restore to good health someone who is gravely ill. The voluntary giving of blood to save life is a quiet, friendly occasion, with perhaps a little reading while one rests, a time for pleasant conversation, for drinking tea and meeting other people. An atmosphere that is in marked contrast to the moment when blood is lost by accident or ill health. The gift of blood can work miracles.
Come on, quick! Get the forward, quick! Fetch an ambulance, quick!
Ambulance, 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 ambulance!
The morphine's ready, Doctor.
Yes, but carry on, nurse. You'll have to have a transfusion right away. Get me 3 bottles of plasma. Have his blood grouped and cross-matched as quickly as possible. Right. Lois, group and cross-match 6 pints with this as quickly as you can, will you? Chap fell off a scaffold. He's in pretty bad shape, so please hurry. We'll have to give him plasma to keep him going until we know what his group is.
It's a miracle he arrived alive. Something must have broken his fall.
Yeah, something like that. There's some time yet before we know his blood group. I hope it's not a rare one.
It's all right. It's compatible.
There, sister, please. Now, the blood for salt is ready. Group B, positive.
Thank you. Group B, positive.
Group B positive.
Oh, Lord, it would be. And we need a lot of it. Here, let me talk to them. Oh, yes, it is a rare group, all right. Well, I've been on to the transfusion center already. I think we can manage. Not to worry yet, anyway, huh? Well, he seems to have broken his pelvis and his hip joint. Well, that's apart from the cuts and head injuries. And with all this excessive bleeding, we'll just have to go on transfusing.
Within 24 hours, the patient was given 27 bottles of blood, and another 4 in the 12 hours following, 31 in all. Fortunately, there was enough of the right blood in the regional blood bank to supply the large amount needed to bring him through. But only because some 300 people, as many as you can see here, had given their blood. For only about 1 in 10 was of the same group as this man. Thanks to them, his life was saved. And here he is today, still an injured man, but living.
What a lovely comic. Much nicer than the ones I used to have when I was a little girl. What are you going to be when you grow up? Nurse?
No, I'm going to be the first girl to go to the moon.
What an ambitious girl. That's a trip for boys, not little girls.
My daddy says...
A hole in the heart? What does that mean? It means that Pat's condition is serious.
You mean she may die?
I'm afraid so, unless she has this operation.
If she does have the operation, what are her chances?
If it's successful, she will certainly be much better. And she'll probably be able to lead an almost completely normal life.
If it's successful, you mean?
I mean, all serious operations carry a risk. And a heart operation's a very serious and an extensive one indeed.
Is there no other way?
Now, try and not worry, Mrs. Kent. You must understand that Pat's only hope is to have this operation. Fortunately, we have the heart-lung machine, which enables us to perform many operations of this kind. Now, you try and not worry.
Blood will be needed for the heart-lung machine, and 12 donors of the same blood group as Pat are asked if they will come to a session in about a fortnight's time to give their blood especially to save her life. So they all made a special effort to attend. And here is the machine that will take over the job of acting as an artificial heart and lungs for Pat. While the surgeons get ready for the last part of the operation, final checks are made and the blood is poured in. Roller pumps set it circulating round all the tubes, and soon will set it flowing through Pat's body. But before blood can be pumped into her, it is passed over moistened screens where carbon dioxide is exchanged for oxygen. Thus the blood becomes exactly the same as when it leaves the actual heart. Now they are ready and the machine is linked to the patient. The blood of those 12 donors will keep Pat alive while the surgeon opens her heart, which is empty of blood, and repairs the defect. And Pat lived. Maybe not to go round the moon as a space traveler, but able to boast of something just as miraculous in her life. But the giving of blood is not always needed to meet such exceptional events as these. Babies are born every hour, and childbirth is generally safely accomplished. But sometimes it is not plain sailing. 3/4 of an hour after the birth of her baby, Mrs. Hume became very ill through continued loss of blood. In the past, there were few means of dealing with this danger to the mother.
Nurse, I don't like the look of this. Get the flying squad quick. May need a blood transfusion.
Postpartum hemorrhage. 6 Raleigh Drive. Coming at once.
Hospital centres have maternity flying squads headed by a specialist. They are always on call for home emergencies and, if necessary, to give a transfusion on the spot. Immediately on arrival, transfusion was begun and Mrs. Hume was given 3 bottles of Group O, rhesus negative. As soon as cross-matching had been completed, 2 bottles of her own blood group were sent. Her condition improved enough for her to be moved to hospital and she recovered uneventfully. Blood donors can rejoice in the fact that death from bleeding after childbirth has been practically eliminated by reason of their gifts. This is her first time, but there is nothing to worry about. A slight prick to take a drop of blood to test for anemia, part of the precaution to see that she is fit. A few minutes wait for her turn. Any pain? No, as any donor will confirm. For a few, perhaps, there may be a slight momentary discomfort, a mere nothing. And when you think of the ways your blood may be used to save life, its giving is truly a very little sacrifice. 10 minutes in which to give 3/4 of a pint of blood, an amount that is made up very quickly. Are you afraid they will take too much or even the lot? As no donor is left alone while giving blood, you need have no fear of that. Then you must have 20 minutes rest. After that, a cup of tea, some biscuits and a little conversation, and that's all. After effects, any donor will tell you there are none, and that to give blood regularly does not do you any harm. More blood donors are always needed. Why? To replace retiring donors, and because with advances in medical knowledge, more ways of saving life by transfusion are being discovered. Transfusion enables operations to be undertaken successfully that were formerly thought impossible. It is invaluable in the treatment of various kinds of anemia. And plasma, the liquid part of blood, is used to offset the shock caused by severe burns. Don't leave it to others. Come yourself. Anyone in normal health between 18 and 65 can volunteer. Less than an hour twice a year is not much to ask, and the blood you give on each occasion is soon made up. It is really nothing when you consider that at the cost of a little inconvenience and only a little of your time, your gift of blood will help to save someone's life.